ever since I started this channel that I talk about how corrupt Portugal is. Obviously, I'm not talking about the country itself. I'm talking about the Portuguese people and specifically the political class. The political class are corrupt for obvious reasons, which I will cover again in this video, but also the Portuguese people that make sure that the corrupt continue to be elected to a point where the laws of the country are not followed and Portugal has a three-tier justice system that works as follows. No consequences for socialists, their friends and family, which will in fact be rewarded for their loyalty to the Socialist Party. All consequences under the law and much more for those that are enemies of the socialists or just get in their way. And finally, for everyone else, apply the laws of the country. I've covered this three-tier justice system in my last video with yet another example of it in practice, where a judge literally removed corruption and fraud off of the list of crimes committed by former Prime Minister and socialist José Sócrates, simply due to ideological reasons and no basis on the laws. The stupidity level of that ruling reached its apogee when the judge, Ivo Rosa, said that José Sócrates does not have to declare income that resulted from his criminal activities as a justification to remove fiscal fraud from the list of crimes. You heard that right. That happened in Portugal. You may think that your country is corrupt, but you've not seen anything until you actually know what happens in Portugal. But this stupidity happens because the whole Portuguese justice system is politically motivated and the laws of the country are irrelevant unless the socialists have something to benefit from them. However, because Portugal is part of the European Union, there is oversight by Brussels to pretty much everything that the member states say they want to do, which is why the Portuguese budget, for example, needs to be approved not by who the Portuguese people elected, but by Brussels. This, however, never stopped the Portuguese socialists and communists of using and abusing the European funds that Portugal receives every year, and Portugal is one of the countries that receives the most funds from the European Union. Because the application of these funds is always a problem, especially in a corrupt, filled country like Portugal, the European Public Prosecutor's Office was created to fight fraud and corruption, especially with European funds. To create this new European body, each member state will propose a representative, and Portugal was of course in the list to propose a member to the new European Public Prosecutor's Office. And the Portuguese government's choice was José Guerra. Let's hear what the Spanish Eurodeputee González Pons had to say about this choice.
Portugal es para mí mucho más que un Estado miembro. Comparte límites geográficos, historia y cultura con mi país. Juntos salimos de la dictadura y entramos en la Unión Europea. Por eso me entristece tener que condenar el comportamiento del gobierno portugués. Pero los hechos son irrefutables. El gobierno portugués mintió al Consejo sobre la cualificación de uno de los candidatos a la Fiscalía Europea. Y fruto de esa mentira se adoptó una decisión que no debía haberse adoptado. Sinceramente no sé qué es peor, si la excusa del error administrativo o la teoría de la conspiración internacional antiportuguesa que ha propuesto el primer ministro Costa. Esta clase de disparates son propios de otras latitudes y le hacen un flaco favor a la presidencia portuguesa. La Fiscalía Europea es un instrumento al servicio de todos los europeos para luchar contra el fraude y para preservar el Estado de Derecho, que ahora ha quedado bajo la sombra de la sospecha. Hace 2 semanas me dirigí a la Comisión Europea junto a otros compañeros para solicitar una investigación al respecto. Hoy la pido de nuevo aquí y me dirijo al gobierno portugués para que asuma su responsabilidad ante los portugueses y ante los europeos. Las mentiras deben tener consecuencias y al corromper el Estado de Derecho no puede quedar impune. Señor Costa, los portugueses merecen una disculpa y nosotros no quedar como idiotas. Muchas gracias.
Very blunt and direct, don't you think? He accused the Portuguese socialist government of lying in regards to José Guerra's qualifications that led to his nomination, and of even creating conspiracy theories that not accepting José Guerra somehow meant that there was an anti-Portugal sentiment. The hilarious part came afterwards as a response from the Portuguese socialists to González Pons, by means of the Eurodeputee Isabel Santos.
Muito obrigada, Sr. Presidente. Aqui sou mais do que eu e ergo-me do alto de quase 900 anos de história para responder ao deputado Pons, atrás do qual se escondem os verdadeiros urdidores desta campanha de desinformação, cujo único objetivo é atingir a presidência portuguesa do Conselho e, de arrasto, atingir a própria Procuradoria Europeia. Mas vamos a factos. Vamos a factos. Os candidatos portugueses a Procurador Europeu foram selecionados pelo Conselho Superior do Ministério Público, um órgão independente. O Conselho Europeu nomeou o primeiro da lista seriada por este órgão. A comunicação do Conselho Europeu é clara. Diz que o candidato apontado obteve a mais alta classificação no ranking do Conselho Superior da Procuradoria Pública. Do Ministério. Peço desculpa. Do Conselho Superior do Ministério Público. Digam-me aqui onde é que está a interferência política ou os erros cometidos.
This babbling buffoon tried to do exactly what González Pons had just mentioned. It's a conspiracy theory against the great Portugal that is now the president of the European Council and has been so successful at it that it increased in-person expenses at a time where in-person is not even allowed almost everywhere due to the pandemic. Her speech also shows what I've been telling you for years now. She is purely ideologically motivated. If the socialists had been killing people in the streets, just like they did not long ago in Europe, Isabel Santos would be defending them in the same way she did here. This is what you can expect from the Portuguese political class. Pure ideology, incompetence, corruption, and criminal intent, as long as it benefits their ideological beliefs. This is the left and far left in Portugal. But what are the lies that González Pons mentioned? What exactly happened that led to José Guerra's nomination? Let's start with the list of candidates from Portugal. There were 3, and the top contender, after an analysis by an independent European panel, was Ana Carla Almeida, and second place was José Guerra. However, the Portuguese government decided to not pick the representative of Portugal for the new EPPO based on the analysis of this independent European panel, but rather based on the needs of the Socialist Party. To make sure that José Guerra was more appealing, the Portuguese government, by means of the Justice Ministry headed by Francisca van Dunham, changed the resume of José Guerra to include false information about his past as prosecutor. José Guerra was claimed to be a prosecutor general when he never had that job. The socialists also said that José Guerra was the prosecutor in a case involving a Portuguese union, UGT, when that was not true, since he was just a judge that handled the case. These are the lies that González Pons was talking about. The Portuguese government lied about who José Guerra really was, but of course there is more to it than that, and again it fits the 3-tier justice system I mentioned before. José Guerra, the man picked by the socialists to be in the EPPO as the representative of Portugal, was picked by the socialist government of José Sócrates to be part of the Eurojust in 2007. José Guerra is also the brother of Carlos Guerra, the man that allowed the building of Freeport in Alcochete, the first major corruption case involving José Sócrates many years ago, that resulted in absolutely nothing. This is a case of a socialist and his family being rewarded for his loyalty. Ana Carla Almeida was the first choice of the independent European panel, but she is not really a friend of the socialists because she was heading the investigation of the snake oil anti-smoke cloth that socialists were profiting from after the tragic fires of 2017, to a point where one of the socialist minister's office was raided by police during the investigation. For the socialists, Ana Carla Almeida is an enemy, and she would be punished by not selecting her to represent Portugal in the EPPO, despite the fact that she was the most qualified for the job. And of course, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, the recently re-elected president, doesn't care about any of this. In fact, he is part of the scheme that makes sure corruption in Portugal is alive and well. Never better, actually. In 2019, Portugal was the worst country in Europe when implementing measures to fight corruption. 73% of the recommendations were in fact ignored. Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa was confronted with this and, as the usual clown that he is, just says something that sounds nice to the media like, "I promise things will improve," and then proceeds to do nothing. That's the mark of this idiot as the president of Portugal. Lots of selfies and self-promotion, but absolutely no work as president. In fact, he, along with António Costa, made sure Joana Marques Vidal, the previous general prosecutor, was replaced. Joana Marques Vidal had in her hands several cases of corruption and interference in the justice system. One of them, Operação Marquês, the one that involved José Sócrates.